and I hope we'll have another opportunity to share learning together. So I'll be speaking on the future of work, and I have just few minutes on this platform to do this. So it's going to be exciting. And okay, so I think this is better for me. All right. So the future of work. I was speaking on the perspective on from a journey from what has been into what we be. A journey from what has been into what we be. I was talking to a young man yesterday, and within our conversation, I was able to take him into the next 30 years of his life. And then he started operating in the next 30 years of his life. So, which means that the future you hope to see is actually already existing, right? So, it depends on what you are creating, it depends on where you stand, what you see, how you are positioned, right? So, he was already operating in the next 30 years of his life. And I remember just recently, God said to me, He said, go and prepare men for their next 30 years. And that's the assignment that's been given to me. So I prepare men for to see their next 30 years, and not just for you to see the next 30 years. How do you begin to function in the next 30 years? While others were waiting, you are already, manifesting. So, and I hope this session will also be such a catalyst that will move you from where you are into the future that you see or that you have not yet seen. you know so before we begin, I'm going to say something, and you can see it right in here. Most people are not preparing for the future, they are rehearsing the past and calling it readiness. So I've seen so many people saying, yeah, I'm preparing for the future. The future is right there. And I've seen many people also focusing on the past than they focus on the future. The truth is, everyone is focusing on something. You know it or you don't know it, consciously or unconsciously. It's either you're focusing on the past, the present, or the future. So you cannot tell me that you are not even focusing on any of these three. You are, either consciously or unconsciously. And then what you focus on consistently is what you become. What you focus on consistently is what you become. So the question is, when you become something, everyone is becoming. And when you become something, what you become actually is a sign of what you focus on, right? So your result will tell us what you have been focusing on, right? So are you rehearsing for the past, or are you already in the future? Or are you saying you are preparing for the future? Let me tell you the truth. You are in a world where whatever you see happening now has happened in another realm, in another world 10 years ago. I don't know if you understand that. Whatever you see happening now in your world, I know where you are. Whatever you see happening now has happened 10, 20 years in another world. So where truly is the future? So let's first agree that there is really no such thing as the future. Thank you. This is John. I see your comments. Yes, let's keep it. So whatever you feel, you can put it in your comments. Anything that struck you, you can put it in the comments. So in the next 40 minutes, what you believe about work will be permanently disturbed. I am going to disrupt your mind, your sights, your belief in the next few minutes. You know. So the world that built us, there are four things I want to discuss here around the world that built us. And there are things that I call the four eras. One unbroken story. The final chapter is still being written. The first thing is the land. I'm going to talk about the era of the land, the era of the factory, the era of the screen, and the void era. So you're going to tell me where you are. So your age does not determine the era you belong. It is what you have become and what you are doing, right, that determine the era in which you are, not your age, right? So the first one that I mentioned is the land. You were what you grew. Identity was the soil then. So identity, we're talking about community building, security was an harvest then. Community was everything, the people around you. That is the era of the land. And then we move to the second era, the factory. This is between 1800 to 1970s. You become what you made. Then it is what you make that determine you. Now the clock honed you as at that time. So you measure performance by how long you have stayed on the job, how long you are performing on a particular task, right? So the clock honed you. Repetition was a virtue then. They tell you that you become an expert for how long you have been able to do something. That may be a fallacy. Loyalty was the currency then. And then we can look at the third era, the screen era between 1970s to year 2020s, right? You were what you knew. Then some call it the era of knowledge. Some people call it the era of knowledge. You have what you knew. Knowledge was power then. This is the era they used to tell you that knowledge is power. And there is an involvement when there was an involvement. And then people that are actually evolving from that era knew that knowledge was not power, that knowledge was just an information that was given to someone. When you have an information, it doesn't mean that you have power, because I've seen so many people with information without transformation, right? So you were what you knew. As at that time, people recognize you by the information you have. People recognize you by the knowledge you have. That was a particular era. And then we begin to move into an era that I call the void era between 2020s until the year that will come, right? The grand beneath every certainty cracked, and most people still haven't looked down. I will get to a point where I begin to make a predictions about what it is to come that you need to prepare for. So if you look within these eras, you begin to look at where I am actually. It is not, don't plug in yourself by your age. Plug in yourself by who you have become into an era, right? So every era ended, every ending was also a new beginning. When an era ended, there was a new era, there was a new beginning. So you need to understand, and that is the reason why you must always be aware of a season that has ended, so that you'll be able to define your next or your new season. Some are operating in the past, some are operating in their present, some are operating already in the future, right? Some are already in 2030. There was a time I said to someone, I said 2027, some of us, we have closed that chapter already. We are already in 2028. Why some are still in 2022? So it depends on what you have becoming and what you do. So that's what determines where you are and where you live. What era are you living in? Right? I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Okay. I know, so you must have heard it so many times that data actually speaks, and which is the truth. So I'm going to share some numbers with you, the numbers that should terrify you, the number that will make you feel, wow, something is happening. And maybe you are aware something is happening, or you are not even aware something is happening. So these numbers will actually bring you into realization. 85 million jobs displaced by automation and AI by 2025. Maybe you're not aware. 44% of workers Workers' core skills will be disrupted or obsolete within 5 years. $15.7 trillion AI's projected contribution to the global economy by 2030. One in three current job will fundamentally change in nature before 2030. 77% of CEOs say skills shortages are the biggest threat to their business. 77% of CEOs say skills shortages are the biggest threat to their business. 2 billion workers globally in jobs that will not exist in their current form by 2035. I was discussing with a friend yesterday, and then he traveled to China and then he got back. And then he said to me, he said, AI has taken over, that they built AI in such a way that AI can do almost about 90%, over 60-70% of the jobs in China. And then they realized that if they continue in that direction, then the people will have no job no more. The government have to stop them because the people are not ready for it now. Let me tell you the truth. There are things you can handle. There are things that you can control, and there are things you cannot control. One of the things you cannot control are the numbers that I've shared with you now. What we dominate the market, what disrupts the market, you cannot control it, but you can just prepare for it. You can get ready for it, or you are already ready for it, right? So the funeral, there's something I call the funeral, but nobody announced. There's something that nobody announced, right? It's gone, it's dead, but no one announced this. These things are already dead. Most organizations just haven't buried them yet. So the 9 to 5 is dead. Maybe you're not aware. Now, if you call the children, you know, the alpha generation, that what would they like to do, they will tell you that they are not ready to do 9 to 5 job. I was coaching a teenager, an adult youth, about 2 days ago, and I asked this adult youth, I said, what is your greatest fear? He said, my greatest fear is that I don't want to do 9 to 5 job like my dad. you know so the career ladder is dead, where you say you want to transition people from one point to another point in an organization. Careers are now portfolios, not career paths. So the office as power is dead. you know what I'm saying here is presence is no longer proof of productivity. I see you is not a proof of productivity. It's not about where you are in the office or at home. The new era is, what result are you delivering? What do you do with your time? Lifetime employment is dead. The average person will have 12 jobs in their lifetime. I have friends, that they are doing 2 to 3 jobs now. So now imagine the next 20, 30 years, people will have opportunity to do nothing less than 12 jobs at the same time. I mean, people that are ready for it. You know, the degree as gateway is dead. I am in an environment where when you apply for job, until the point where they completed your onboarding, nobody will ask for your certifications. So credentials are being disrupted by, you know, what you can do. So credentials are now being disrupted by your competence. What they want to see is, have you done it before? Not what credentials do you have. Seniority by time is dead. In the future economy, relevance is the new seniority. And how do you define relevance? Certifications do not define relevance. Degree does not define relevance. And the truth is, you cannot build a new future on a dead platform or on a dead foundation. Now, let's look at the dead end, where most of the world is standing right now. So there are two areas I want to consider here: where organizations are and where the world is already going. You know, and then you will see stagnation and then you will see acceleration. So managing people like machines is gone, is dead. Rewarding presence over performance is dead. Hoarding knowledge is a silo thing, is gone forever. Hiring for yesterday's problem. Oh, because you are able to solve a problem in an organization yesterday, so we should be able to hire you and trust that you can deliver today, is dead. Performance is no more what you did yesterday. Performance is now what you can do now. I don't know if you listen to me. So confusing business, how busy you are, is not a factor of productivity. And leading with fear and control is dead. So what should we consider? Augmenting humans with intelligence system. Now people are looking at who are the people that can augment our AI. So measuring outcomes, not hours. What was the result? I don't want to. It's not. I'm not looking at how many hours you have spent on the job. Were you able to bring results? Building ecosystem of trust and flow. Hiring for adaptability and imagination. Hiring for adaptability. Adaptability is going to be one of the greatest skills that will be required for success in the workplace, in the future of work. Adaptability and imagination. Imagination, how you are able to see what is to come and how you are able to help an organization to prepare. Value energy, creativity, and wisdom. There was a time we celebrate the era of knowledge, the era of knowing. The problems that the world will be facing now will not be problems that will be solved by knowledge. They are problems that will be solved by wisdom, right? So, leading with vision and psychological safety. So let's go into the four forces reshaping everything. You have to follow me fast. I have another session after now. So the four forces reshaping everything. There are forces at work that you need to know. These are not trends. I'm not talking about trends here. I'm talking about shift. So you're looking at the artificial intelligence. AI is not taking your job. You first need to have that orientation, that shift. But a human who uses AI effectively will. Now, the question is no longer if, it is how fast and how deep. How fast and how deep. The next force, the second force, climate disruption. The climate disruption, the second force. The climate crisis is now a workforce crisis. New industries, new skills, new geographies of work are being born from catastrophe. And then the third force, let me say this: by 2030, 5 generations will work side by side in many nations. Not enough workers. Elsewhere, youth unemployment above 40%. Both truths exist simultaneously. And then I have the human awakening, the last force. The great resignation was not laziness. People will not get fired because they are lazy. That is not the great resignation. The great resignation, it was the first tremor of a generation refusing to trade their lives for a paycheck. Purpose has become non-negotiable. What you will see is, how does this work align with my purpose? not how much do I earn, right? So let's look at the workplace of the future. What does it look like? The workplace of the future. It is not a place. The first thing I want you to agree with me is that the workplace of the future is not a place. The workplace of the future is a philosophy. Now, this is a philosophy that some are not cannot see it now. So because they cannot see that, they cannot define it. And because they cannot define it, they cannot accept it. The workplace of the future is not a place, it's a philosophy, it's an agenda, it's a system created by philosophy. So the first thing you want to look at is borderless. It does not matter where you live, you can get the job anywhere. I remember there was a time a friend of mine was trying to get dev developer, and we're trying to get them from Nigeria, and they want to use them in US and in Canada, right? So it is not, you are living in a borderless world, right? So visa is not a restriction for you to be exposed and to work globally. The future workplace has no walls, but you create that walls from your own mind within yourself. Talent is sourced from Lagos, served in London, and coded in Lahore simultaneously. So the second thing is trust first. Surveillance based management is over. The future workplace runs on psychological safety. Psychological safety, not performance monitoring. Nobody's ready to monitor you. I work in a place where they don't monitor what I do, but I just report results. Asynchronous work will increasingly detach from time zones. Deliverables, not schedules, become the language of the productivity. Did you deliver, yes or no? Is now the language of productivity. The language of productivity will not be, why were you not in the office yesterday? So the language of productivity is they have deliverables, how you are able to deliver results. Now let's look at ecosystem, not hierarchy. Future workplaces are webs of interdependence, not organized org charts of power. Collaboration replaces command. The future workplace is where collaboration replaces command. Nobody want to command you to do a particular work. We want to see how collaborative you are. And then we look at intentionality. How you are intentionally human. As machines do more, the workplace must invest more in human connection, not less. Humanity is not a cost, it is the competitive edge. So sometimes you see HR, saying this is our human cost. Humanity is not a cost. Humanity is the competitive edge in the workplace. Now you look at meaning as infrastructure. Organizations that cannot answer why will not attract the best minds of the future. Because what people, the workforce, will be demanding for now is, why should I work here? Does my purpose align with yours? Can we define meaning? And how do we define meaning in the workplace? So, this will be the foundation for the future of work. So, the companies building this today are the empires of tomorrow. Those companies that are aware of all these factors today, they are the empires of tomorrow. Now, let's look at the workforce of the future, who will work and how they will work and for what. Who will work, how and for what? The first thing is the super worker. The super worker. This is a human amplified by AI tools. They do in 1 hour what took a team a week. They are already here. The question is, are you one of them? The super worker. The second, the portfolio professional. Single employers are becoming a relic. The future worker juggles 3 to 5 income streams, projects, and identities simultaneously. And then we have the human AI team. The most powerful unit of the future is not a department, it is one sharp human mind, deeply integrated with intelligent system. Here I am talking about integration. I have spoken about AI augmentation and then multi-stream and now integration. How do you prepare their mind for the future of work? There's something happening in Canada recently. Government realized the power of AI in the future of work and in the economy, and they decided to put money forward to say that we want to train from kindergarten to grade 12 on how to use AI and coding. Do you know what they are doing? They are preparing for the future, and they're also preparing their future, right? So then the fourth one is the purpose seeker. Gen Z and Alpha will not work for money alone. Yes, money is good, but they will tell you that they are not working for money alone. They will choose meaning over margin. Leaders who ignore this will face permanent talent flight. The lifelong learner. In the future, your education never ends. Those who stop learning will become professionally extinct within a decade. And then I have the global nomad. Borders are becoming optional for knowledge workers. Borders are becoming optional for knowledge workers. The future workforce does not wait to be defined, it defines itself. It's a shift. So it defines itself. So let's look at the work of the future under what will human beings actually do when machines can do everything? Because I've been in a session where someone asked me this question. So, what will human beings actually do when machines can do everything? The first thing is sense making. Machines cannot process data, only humans can find meaning in it. The most valuable work of the future is translating complexity into wisdom. Translating complexity into wisdom. That will be one of the most valuable work of the future. Translating complexity into wisdom. Then I have ethical judgment. As AI proliferates, someone must decide what is right, not just what is efficient. Moral intelligence becomes the rarest and most valuable skill. And you also have creative origination. Creative origination. AI can remix. Humans can originate. Breakthrough ideas, truly new things will remain a distinctly human capacity. Relational depth is something we also need to consider here. Trust, empathy, mentorship, inspiration, healing, these are irreducibly human. The future economy will pay handsomely for depth of connection. Time is coming that to connect will become something that you may have to pay for. A time where human connection will be so scarce. And then I have vision and prophecy, the ability to see what does not yet exist and call it forth. And that's the reason why some of us we work in an organization where we can tell them what is going to happen in the next 10 years and how we need to prepare for it. And this is going to be highest form of human work. The futurists, the prophets, and the catalyst will be the most sought after humans on earth. I know someone is thinking, Olu, what are you talking about? In the future of work? Yes. Now, let me say this, what they are not telling you. The truth that makes the comfortable uncomfortable. Most companies are not preparing their people. Number two, your job title is a fiction. Number three, the education system is manufacturing the unemployable. We are training people for jobs that will not exist, using methods designed for the 19th century and calling it preparation. Hustle culture will create a health crisis. Productivity addiction is the next epidemic. Future fit organization will treat rest as a strategic asset, not a weakness. I've worked in an organization now where if you are not going for vacation, you become a threat to them. That you are not going on vacation, you become a threat to them, right? So that's what I'm referring to here. And Africa, Asia, and the global south hold the future workforce. The next billions are not in boardrooms in New York. They are in Lagos, Nairobi, Mumbai. Who prepares them first actually wins. And the next thing is the next decade will produce more disruption than the last century combined. This is mathematics. The acceleration of change is itself accelerating, and most are still standing. I think I've spent more than 30 minutes now. So let me just share some predictions with you, and I might stop here. It's possible I stop here. Now, I'm giving you prophetic predictions, and you can quote me anywhere. Few seconds, please. You still have time. I'm coming. I'm done. I am not guessing. I am just seeing. The first Fortune 500 company will eliminate its entire middle management layer and replace coordination functions with AI systems. It will be celebrated as innovation, not mourned as destruction. By 2029, the Universal Skills Passport replaced the CV. A global verified AI readable record of demonstrated competencies becomes the primary employment credential worldwide. The 4-day work week becomes legally mandated in at least 20 nations by 2031. Productivity data will prove what visionaries already knew. Rest is not the enemy of outputs. By 2033, the first generation co-raised by AI enters the workforce. They think differently, learn differently, and will make every assumptions about management, motivation, and loyalty obsolete. By 2037, a new professional category, the mini architect, emerges as one of the top 5 highest paid roles globally. Their job: help individuals and organizations find profound purpose in a world of abundance. I think I think I would just like to stop here. Every ending in human history has been the midwife of something greater than what died. The industrial revolution was born in the ruins of feudalism. The digital age was born in the ruins of assembly lines. What is being born right now in the ruins of everything we called normal is the most extraordinary chapter of human work the world has ever seen. My question is my question is not whether the new world is coming. The question is, will you found will you be found in it or taken out already? The new beginning manifesto. Are you ready or are you already in the future of work? The new social contract of work. I have this. I think I can share this. The 7 competencies of future ready humans. I have it. I'll share the slide. I'll send it over because I already asked him to join the next meeting. What leaders must do in the next 90 days. And then your assignment. What you need to stop doing now. And a word to the brave. So I'm sure that Dr. Femi will share this with you. The future is not coming, it is already here. The only question is whether you will be found in it. And also, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I just wanted to give you data. This is not a training. I just wanted to share data with you, right? Because data will never lie, right? And I hope that you have learned 1 or 2 things from this session today. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful session. Okay, over to you. Does Dr. Atiba have something to say?
So I
Yeah,
have to
thank you
give,
very much. Thank you very much, my dear brother. You know how much I love you. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
not a
What an
problem.
amazing wow, wow, wow. Uh I don't know whether we have questions, but as it is, I mean, this is so. I was trying to catch up, and I know that I'm going to sit back again and go and rewatch this. I'm going to go rewatch this over and over again to learn and then see this. And then thank you, of course, for offering to share with us, the slides. So beautiful. Thank you so much again. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, sir. We'll release you because of your time. We know you already have another appointment. So I'll reach out back to you again. And of course, we'll get to have you one more time on our community to answer questions and all that. We'll love to have you. Thank you so much. Blessings all the way. God bless you. Thank you, sir. See you. All right. TY, the ball is your call. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful session. All right, we'll be moving on to our next session now. Our time are past spent. We'll be having the next topic, and then we're having an amazing speaker as well. We'll be talking on the leverage called AI. I think the theme of the one we just finished was the future of work, of which Dr. Oluwole Joseph detailedly dissected the future of work to us. And right now we want to enter into the leverage called AI. And we from the Alfred Atiba leadership believe that AI is the next cause of our work. AI is the next um, um, major breakthrough in our society and everywhere we find ourselves, right? So we are bringing in Mr. Dominion Ajike to give us a session, um, and I believe that you'll be blessed. All right, I believe that you'll be blessed. So please open your spirit, your soul, and your body to all that will be said tonight. All right, sir, you can come to the stage as well. Is he
Okay,
around?
so
Okay.
we it's not presently available. It's not here yet. So we're
Okay.
just going to take a short break and
Okay.
we'll be back in the next Just 2 minutes. Thank you. All right.
All right.
Maybe all right. Thank you very much, people. I'm just going to have to take my session now. Was scheduled to take it tomorrow initially, but I'm going to have to take it right now. So let's get ready. It's going to be an amazing time. Beautiful. All right. All right. Thank you very much. I'm sure you can see my screen. If you can, let me know that you can see my screen. Great. You can see my screen, let me know. All right. Beautiful. Great. If you can hear me, let me know. Let me see in the comment section that you can see me. Okay. All right. So I want to speak to you in the next few minutes about creating wealth that transcends generations. Creating wealth that transcends generations. Thank you very much, John. Thank you. Creating wealth that transcends generations. But before I start, I want you to share this link with everybody. Tell everybody Dr. Atiba is here, and I'm about to share something that will break generations. It will break people out of poverty. It will set people free. All right. So tell your brothers, tell the young men, tell everybody, I'm about to do something right now. I want to share with you how to create wealth that transcends generations, how to build wealth without leave you. I want to share with you because it's been strong in my heart. I've been sharing with senior citizens lately, talking to people, sharing a lot, rubbing minds together with a lot of people, talking, as a consultant also, I speak on retirement planning. And I've been speaking to a lot of people, speaking to a lot of men and all that. Having difficult conversations with men who spend all their lives sacrificing, and then they're in spots where they come to a realization that, you know what, I am alone. Because it looks as if, everybody they sacrifice for are no longer providing for them. You need to be able to prepare for your future and prepare for when you're gone. The good book says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. I would like to say for his children's children's children. All right. So let's go. Now, let me ask you a very quick question. Let me ask you a very, very quick question. If you die tonight, how long would your family remain comfortable? How long? How long? Because let me tell you this. Is it 5 years, 10 years, 50 years? Most people leave assets, but few leave systems. And if I've learned anything about life, it's that it's important for you to create and leave systems. There's a critical difference between leaving an inheritance, that's money, and leaving a legacy. The legacy is an economic engine. It's when you create a system that funds your generations to come. And one of the beautiful stories I heard years ago was about the man Obafemi Awolowo, who actually was able to create deals that left money for his family till today. He wrote contracts with Coca-Cola, and that's what we heard. He signed a deal with Coca-Cola, signed a deal then Leventis, with Mercedes-Benz, and that has changed the way the family makes money till today. And that's very powerful, isn't it? So remember this: salary dies with you. but systems continue without you. And that is very key, my dear friends. Now, so you see, the goal is not to be rich. The goal is to build a wealth generating machine. Let's look at it. When you are making money, you are having income, you're exchanging your time for money, right? You know, you are probably running a salary, or you're freelancing, or you're doing business, but your income stops when you stop, right? But when you create systems, that's when you have built a business. You're no longer a small business. Now, if you remember the cash flow quadrant, you have the employee, the self-employed person, you got the business owner, and then you got the investor, right? Now, if you look at it, on the right, on your left, you've got the employee, you've got your what? Your self-employed. On the right, you've got your what? Your business owner, and then you've got the investor. Now, if you look at your right, that's where you have the systems in place. You own the machine. You have the machine that produces the money. You got a business that is a system that creates money, prints money on demand. You have assets, you have infrastructure, and yet it continues without you. The same thing with your investment system. And that's the way it is, because this big idea is that you know, skills feed one generation, but ownership feeds many. Ownership feeds many. You have created a system that is owned, that can change the face of everything. Let's look at what I call the 3-generation curse, why most families lose it all. You know, because as young men, as men, we got to be able to create systems that our family, that can sustain our families forever and ever. Look at it. So the first generation, we got the creator. That's the person who works hard, you know, built well through great sacrifice and vision, understands the value of every cent. They're not careless about the money. Then we have generation 2, the consumer. They're the ones who enjoy the fruit without labor, you know, because, I mean, your father left the money. I don't know whether I'm speaking to somebody like that. And then maintains the status, but lacks the original drive. And then you got the generation 3, the destroyer. They are disconnected from the source. They don't know what the grandfather did. They don't know what the father did to sustain. They squander the remaining through the lack of discipline. And what happens eventually is that the wealth vanishes because it was not governed. There was the money without discipline. It's just a countdown to poverty. And that's the way it is. Because nobody trained them. Nobody created systems that can govern that money. And these are things that we need to talk about. Let's look at the 5 levels of wealth. Where do you stand? You know, for some, you're still at the level of earning. That's level 1. You're earning. You're taking salary, you're freelancing, you're trading, you're exchanging your time for money. Or maybe you're at level 2, where you're not just earning, you're also saving. You have liquidity, you've got some savings, you have some reserves, you know, necessary but insufficient for legacy. It's just you. You've got this, you know, emergency fund, and some of those things. Level 3 is the level where you're investing. So you've got stocks, you've got real estate. Money is beginning to work for you, right? Your money now has become your employee. And then level 4, your own systems, right? You have factories, you've got manufacturing brands, you have intellectual property, you have recurring cash flow, you have royalties, you've got IQ, you know, IP, intellectual property. And these things are happening. But level 5, dear friends, is the level of transfer, where you build trusts, right? And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Trusts, you have holding companies, you got legacies, you got, you know, wealth generations. Because I mean, you've got trusts, holding companies, governance is there, and then your wealth survives your generation. That's what happened with the Rockefeller family, you know, because most people normally stop at hustle level. That's at level 1. As a young man, you must not do that. The 1%, they live at level 5, at the level of transfer of wealth, right? And that's very important. I talk about the Rockefeller method, right? Their real achievement was in the billions. It was a 100-year structure. The Japanese people have a system, and their system is to what? To practically have what, you know, we call what? They have a 100-year plan. And that's what Rockefeller did. right? Rich people own assets, but wealthy families, they own structures. And that's what you must do. You must start thinking at that level. Build trust structures, right? Tony Enumelu has here holdings. Herbert Wigwe had his own that he did. Had registered two of them, one in Nigeria, the other one in Mauritius, the late Herbert Wigwe. Of course, Dangote has his own. I mean, they have family offices, they got formal governance, they have higher education, and most of the wealthiest families in the world send their children to schools where they train them how to build power and influence. These are things you need to start building. The Jews have a formula, they have a family structure, they have a way of raising their children to take over. They are building their generation wealth for the fifth generation, and they're training their children to have these things. As a young man, you must not think about yourself alone. You must think about legacy, think about your father's name. Make sure, because this is important. And one of the things they do as Jews is that they look for one cause to give to, philanthropic foundations. Rockefeller was very sick. At a point in time, he made up his mind, was going to give away about 90% of his money, gave it all away, he came back. Charity has a way of changing your life. When you give, it changes everything. But how can you give when you don't have anything to give? Listen, money without structure is just a temporary gift. But money with structure becomes a legacy. You've got to be able to create structure. Listen, I've been poor. Now I have some money. I'm not there yet. But I can tell you, like a lot of wealthy people will say to you, people who are wealthy will say it, and they keep on saying it, that money changes things. When you have money, you are better, you are comfortable, you have more options, right? I'm praying for more. I'm trusting God for more, so I can be a more blessing. You have to put structure to your money. That is very important. Let's look at the African blueprint, ecosystems and institutions, all over. Look at Tony Enumelu. He built Hair Holdings as a diversified investment platform across banking, power, and energy. So, right? So he does not own one business. Don't own one business. Own a portfolio of businesses. Work hard. Work hard. Don't be lazy. Anyone who's affiliated to the Alfred Atiba leadership, I tell people, don't be lazy. Build a legacy. Build something. Look for problems. Problems are the cheapest raw materials in the whole world. Look for something to build, something to work on, something to transform your world. Right? There's a problem in your community that you need to do. Our work in Alfred Atiba leadership is to raise exceptional leaders who impact their local communities in phenomenal ways, and this is very important. Aliko Dangote is there. He transitioned from just commodity trading to massive industrial manufacturing and infrastructure. You have the Dangote cement, Dangote sugar. Of course, the oil is there. You see, what's the lesson here? Trading makes money, but production creates empires. You need to build your empire, right? Look at Herbert Wigwe, the late Herbert Wigwe. He transformed Access Bank and founded the Wigwe University to build institutions that outlive him. All right? Okay? And what's the lesson here? Think beyond your career, build institutions. I want you to move, friends, from just buying and selling, from hustling to ownership. Ownership. Build things, build legacy, build things that last you, create systems that work independent of you. God created the whole body. There are many parts of your body that works and you're not seeing it. Why? Because there are systems, they work naturally. The solar system is there. It works naturally. The climate system is there. It works naturally. Where there's snow, there's snow. Where there's winter, there's summer, there's autumn, there's spring. And then in the tropics, we've got what? We've got the dry season, the rainy season, and we've got Harmattan, right? These things are very important. Now, what are you going to do? You've got to appoint a referee for your wealth, right? The trust is a legal agreement where a referee manages what? Assets according to your rules for the benefit of your heirs. And that's what happens. Your money is protected, your asset, your estate is protected. You have orderly transfer, reduce conflict. They don't need to go to court. Everybody knows what they do. So you can actually register one, or you can actually appoint a trust company already to help you with that. A holding company You could use that also. That's the central government. So the one central ownership structure, right? Just like Air Holdings, right? That controls multiple businesses, ensuring centralized governance, right? So the centralized ownership, there's easy succession and tax efficiency. So don't own everything in your name, own it through a structure. It makes a whole lot of sense. That's how to do it. So you don't cause trouble, you reduce conflicts after you're gone, and then you're also able to build your wealth very well. What's the missing piece here? We need to start raising wealth builders. That's one of the things that I am trying to do through this vision, through our commission. Listen, you can't leave a Ferrari to someone who cannot drive. How can you leave a Ferrari to someone who cannot drive? No, you can't. All right. Many fathers, and that's what has happened in Nigeria and Africa. We've seen instances where many fathers leave buildings but never teach the logic behind the investment. They make the money, but they don't teach their children how to make the money, and then everything dies down in just a little time. And you know families like that who had a lot of money, but now they're nowhere to be found. We need to start building character and discipline. Dear young man, it's time for you to make yourself better, to make yourself a blessing and not a burden. You got to build your character. And I'm saying to you as a father that it's important that the most valuable inheritance that I can leave to you, I can give to you, your father can leave to you, is the capacity to manage and multiply assets. You need to develop that character and discipline to turn a naira to 2 naira, 2 naira to 4 naira, 4 naira to 8 naira, 8 naira, just keep on doubling it, working and managing and multiplying. Because listen, wealth disappears when values disappear first. It's time for you to build your value system. Stop it. Stop living a careless life. Take responsibility for your life. That is important. That's what I'm teaching my sons. That's what I want to teach you. That's what I want you to understand. It's very important that you build legacy. But before you can build that, you've got to take responsibility for your life. Understand that the choices you are the product of your choices. Where you are today is the product of your decisions. You are here where you are because of your decisions. Never blame anybody for the state of your life. Oh, maybe you were not born to Dangote, maybe you were not born to Rockefeller, maybe you were not even born to Ilumelu. But listen to me, you were born right. I don't know what you went through. I don't know where you're coming from, but never let your background put your back on the ground. It's time for you to take on responsibility. It's time for you to take on your life with your 2 hands and decide and say to yourself, you know what? I'm doing something tangible with myself. I'm going to make a name for myself. My generation may not have had a billionaire, but a billionaire will come from me. You've got to change things. You got to change the way. You got to build the nation. It's not just about the money. It's about impacting the world. It's about doing something phenomenal. It's about solving a problem that the world has not seen. Listen to me. Regardless of what people are saying about Elon Musk, one thing is sure. That guy has solved a lot of problems. Regardless of what people are saying about Warren Buffett, he's still the oracle of Omaha. Regardless of whatever people are saying about Dangote, he has built businesses. He has made a name as Africa's richest man. So much that the School of Hard Knocks came to Nigeria to come and interview him. Listen to me. It's time to change your world. It's time to change everything. What are the 7 pillars of generation wealth? Let me share this with you. Number 1, you've got to own assets. What's an asset? Anything that puts money in your pocket is an asset. Focus on things that appreciate or produce income, not liabilities. What's a liability? Liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Reduce those, increase your assets. Focus on that more. Liabilities will drain your cash. Number 2, build businesses. Create systems that work without you. Move from a career to an enterprise. Look for somewhere where you can learn apprenticeship, where you can learn how to build businesses. You can have the skill, you can have the talent, you can have the gifting, but learn how to create systems that will build money for you. Number 3, invest early. As you're making the money, my people say that the money that the young man first makes, he uses it to eat bean cakes. But you know what we like to call it? Akara, right? The first money that the young man makes, he uses it, spends it, recklessly. Don't do that. Don't be like some of us. Time is your greatest multiplier. Compound interest is the A1 of the world. Invest early. Look for shares. There's an organization called Afri Investor. I'm not, advertising for them, but they're just there. Bamboo is there. Bamboo app is there. I'm not advertising for them again, right? I'm just saying look for places where you can what? Invest. Think in decades. Don't just think about now. Delayed gratification is something that makes a whole lot of sense. Wealthy families don't think about the next month. They plan for the next 100 years. They are thinking, yeah, some of us are too religious. You are thinking, oh, Christ will come tomorrow. What if he does not come? What if he comes in the next 500 years? Are you not going to create foundations, for the gospel to move further or for things to work? Number 5, document all. The will, write your will, create your trust, create your succession plans, create something powerful. I love to watch cultures, especially I just love some certain cultures where they plan successively. Their families are building legacies. Verbal promises don't survive generations. Build things, lead things, create systems, raise builders, teach your children leadership, teach them negotiation, teach them about the value of stewardship. If you're not married yet, start to teach yourself these things and also start to raise people around you to think in terms of leadership, negotiation, human psychology, and these things. Build institutions, create foundations, schools, or companies that are designed to outlive you. I want you to know that these are your checklists for building a legacy. It is time to do that. What do I need you to do? For the next 1 week, I want you to start to build your empire. I want you to build your empire. I want you to build your empire. Day 1, I want you to create an audit, open a dedicated investment account, and audit your current assets versus your liabilities. Doctor, what are you saying? I don't even have a dime to my name. Oh my goodness, you do. You are an asset. You are an asset. How much are you worth? What problem do you know how to solve that you can solve? It's time to start thinking about that. Look at all the things that you owe and the things that you can make. The next one I want you to do is look at day 3. I want you to know, because the order should be between day 1 to day 2, right? Day 3, day 4, I want you to do a skill hunt. Identify one high income skill that you can master that will build your money, build wealth, create wealth for you, right? Learn AI, learn data science, learn, how to mine data, how to get information, how to use your data, how you can use data, AI to build videos, to create images. I mean, leverage on AI, pick on skills that will help you. Maybe it's speaking, maybe it's psychological, training, maybe it's confidence, maybe communication skills. Look for one high income skill that you can master. Now, on day 5, I want you to write down your 10-year family vision and legacy goals. Let me let you know something. You don't need to be married before you start planning about your family. So write it down. And then day 7, hold your first family financial meeting. If you're not married, that's fine. Hold your meeting with all that by yourself, like I jokingly would say. The best time, friends, to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. Take action now. Let a billionaire, let a trillionaire, a zillionaire come from your lineage. Let life be impacted through you. Oh my goodness, there are many wonderful names that have solved problems across the nations, across the generations. I want your name to be the best. I want your name to be the next, sorry. I want your name to be the best, and I want you to be the next. I want you to be the next. I want you to be that person. I don't want you to just leave money. It's good to leave money. Leave an economy. The greatest inheritance is not cash. It is capacity, it is character, it is ownership, and it is systems. When your grandchildren, when your great-grandchildren, when your great-great-great-grandchildren speak your name, let them inherit a blueprint, not just a balance. All right? We will continue our engagement on the Dear Young Man community. We will share that with you. I hope that helps you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. TY, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful session. Um, this is one of the sessions that are very vital when it comes to young men. All right, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm somewhere that is a bit noisy. Am I audio good enough? Am I audio good enough? Can I get responses? Okay, so I'll just go on. So tomorrow we're gonna be moving on to tomorrow's session as well. We're having two amazing speakers as well. Um, Dr. Atiba took a session today. I don't know if he's going to take a session tomorrow or Mr. Dominion is going to take a session tomorrow. But either one of them are going to be listening to either Dr. Atiba tomorrow or Mr. Dominion, and we're going to be having the esteemed Reverend Baba Tunde. He's one of the people that I look up to. He's a man that I have been looking at for a while now. Based on the dedication to our father about Otuwali. It's one of the men that I've noticed that I've stick close to Dr. Abat Otuwali. Reverend Tosin Tope Babalola is going to be with us tomorrow. Okay. Okay, we're having Mr. Dominion tomorrow. So stay charged, stay put up, stay called up because tomorrow's session is going to be louder and going more powerful than today's session. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing a little bit of recap on all of the things that were said, that was said yesterday today. So stay charged, stay pumped up. All right, have a wonderful day. Can we pray before we go? Father, we thank you for today. We give you praise, we exalt you, we bless you. We pray, Lord, that all this word that has been shared today, we plant and water is seed in our heart in Jesus' name. We pray, Lord, that every steps that we take concerning our future, concerning greatness in life, we pray, Lord, that you orchestrate it for us in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, for answering our prayers. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' mighty name we've prayed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night.